Hello, and what is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and welcome back to Forza Horizon 4. Now, we're looking at the Hoonicorn, but pretty soon we're also going to be looking at a different car as well, because I want to see how the Hoonicorn performs in a drift zone versus how the Formula Drift cars perform in a drift zone, and kind of compare them in terms of effectiveness, and kind of figure out which one I think is a little bit more effective in terms of scoring. Now, this is going to be different based on who's driving. This is going to be different based on who's, like if you've got more experience with all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive. This is just kind of a general comparison, because I'm sure, results like this, yes, of course, they can be dynamic, but I also want you guys to let me know which side of the equation that you prefer. So we're gonna run this drift zone. We're gonna run it down and then back up again in the Hoonicorn, and then we're gonna grab the Dodge Viper, the Formula Drift Viper, and run it down and then back up in that, and kind of compare not only scores but compare my thoughts about how the dynamics are, what they're like to drive, and how they compare in terms of everything from difficulty to, whoa, we're out. Wow, okay. Wow, we're off to a great start. Oh my god, and I even sat in this drift zone for a while before I started recording this and practiced. I legitimately sat in here for a while and practiced and put in some really good runs, and literally the first recorded run that I did was horrible. Alright, let's have at that again, and go. A lot more conservative entry that time, like a hell of a lot more. I will be driving a little bit on the conservative side in this video, but that's only because I kind of want to make sure that I'm not going off the road all over the place. Oh, so there's 118, which my record on that is 119, so that's not bad at all. So we'll run it back up again, see what we can do, and then we'll grab the Formula Drift Viper and kind of compare how that feels versus how this feels, because they're very different types of cars. One's an all-wheel drive, almost rally-based type car, and then the other one is a car specifically built for drifting. So technically this is specifically built for kind of drifting, but it's more specifically built for burnouts and donuts, and it can slide too. So it doesn't quite have, I don't see this having the precision, jeez! I don't see this having the precision that the Formula Drift cars may have, and I feel like the Formula Drift cars are a little bit more adjustable at maximum angle than this. But without any further ado, let's grab the Formula Drift Viper and see how that feels and how it drives in comparison to the Hoonicorn, because again, we're also comparing, rear-wheel drive versus all-wheel drive. There's always been a big debate within Forza, you have your rear-wheel drive guys that are like, oh my god, don't even bother calling that crap that you do with an all-wheel drive car drifting, because it's stupid easy and it takes no skill. I disagree with that to a degree, okay? So there's a degree of skill. To score very highly in an all-wheel drive car, yes, there is skill involved. To score mediocrely in an all-wheel drive car, not much skill. That entry was crap because there was a car there on the way in. But, okay, so biggest thing I'm noticing already right off the bat, we're not maintaining necessarily as much speed as we were in the Hoonicorn, but the angle difference is huge, and the adjustability is massive. You can really, oh my god, okay, that was a screw up on my part. But you can really choose where you want to put this thing on the road, rather than with the Hoonicorn, you kind of pick your angle and you hold on. This thing is much more adjustable, much more easy, actually much easier to adjust. And I think the biggest thing that needs to be, whoa god, I think the biggest thing that needs to be kind of explained here is the fact that, oh god, after getting out of the Hoonicorn and getting in this, you understand why the rear-wheel drive cars are easier to adjust and easier to place, but you also understand why the all-wheel drive cars are easier to score highly in, because they're faster. And they're faster in such a way that, especially going uphill, you can really dive in and build speed, and a lot of the drift scoring is based on speed. So when you think about it in that regard, you think, okay, well, speed is the main factor here, and it kind of is, kind of isn't. So I'm going to try and maintain higher speed through this run and see if we can do a little bit better. And since we don't have the speed, we have to substitute it with angle, because that's the only thing we could substitute it with. Oh, not bad. Oh, almost. Okay, so almost the same score. But as you can see, completely different approaches to actually putting in that score. So that's one of the main factors here. One of the main factors here is speed. Now, the thing that I'm curious about, though, is what happens when speed is less of a factor. You know what I'm saying? Like, what happens when speed becomes less of a factor and it becomes directly focused on technicality? So let's go and find a drift zone that's a little bit more technical and see what that looks like in terms of comparing these two cars. So, oh, that's dirt, so we don't want to do that. Where is... Oh my gosh, there's one right around here that's not... This one is definitely speed-focused. Definitely speed-focused, but I feel like both could do well here. Let's give this one a shot, actually. Let's give this one a shot, see what it's like, and compare the two cars side by side in terms of, like, bringing the flow into, like, a drift zone like that. Because, like, think about it this way. We've got an open road here that we can use to build up a ton of speed in the Viper. So speed might not be as much of an issue for us in the Viper as it was at the other drift zone. Ooh. Let's go. Oh, that was crappy entry angle. Really crappy entry angle. I haven't done this one in a while. I forgot how wide this one was. Wow. Oh, I also forgot how easily these things can basically lose their footing. And not lose their footing as in spin the back tires, but like lose their footing as in just keep going. Like they find a direction that they want to go, and then you could they just keep going. You have arrived. Okay, so like 147. We're going to go back the other way, and then we're going to grab the Hoonicorn, and oh, that, I really didn't want to hit that light pole, but you know what? Is what it is. So we're going to go back here and actually build up some really decent speed this time. I want to be able to kind of enter that zone at high speed, high angle. And spin it around. These things just do a massive burnout when you try to do a 180, and that's the other thing is, like, if you're used to driving the Hoonicorn and you pop over to one of these, oh boy, that's going to be an adjustment. Oh my god, this is not the right side to start from. Now, if you can keep the speed, they're awesome. See, like, if you can keep the speed up, these cars are amazing. And I think sometimes if you want to scrub speed, sometimes, like, building up more angle can be, like, a good way to do that. Only problem is, though, that if you lose your momentum, you lose, like... You lose almost everything that you've built up. Like, that's literally the biggest thing. Like, momentum. Okay, so 160. And I think my best is, like, 160 something. 164. Okay, so that zone is actually, I can see it being a little bit of a more even battle for both cars. So I'm going to grab the Hoonicorn now and see if there really is that much of a difference between the two in a different drift zone. You know what I mean? So let's grab the... I mean, hell, we'll use the Gymkhana 10 Hoonicorn for this one, just because, again, it's the same car, so we might as well. Now, this is going to be a lot more focused on just, like, forcing the entry speed. If you can force the entry speed and just stay in the throttle... See, look, you build up so much speed so much faster because of the all-wheel drive system that it kind of, in a way, gives this car a bit of an unfair advantage. But, let's see what happens. Oh, geez. Okay. Oh, wow. Going from this to the Viper was not that hard of a transition. Going from the Viper to this was, oh my god, that transition is something that I have never experienced before in terms of, like, you jump from one style of car to another, and one is just like, you're like, oh my god, nothing I was doing a couple of minutes ago works now. Again, everything is throttle. Everything is, and if you get to that point of terminal angle, you're just, like, you just grind against the wall. Like, that's literally all that you end up doing. It's such a different type of car, and I didn't realize until I jumped from one to the other how big of a difference it was and how big that gap was between these two cars. There's 140, 150, and okay, 158. So a lot of that was speed. I mean, a lot of that was speed because it was so sloppy. We had a crash midway through. We legit had a crash midway through, and we still managed to almost get the score that the Viper got going the other way. So let's see what we can do going back. Come on, there it is. You're just not going to be managing the angles that the Viper can. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Jeez. Definitely running it with this car again because I know that I could do better in this car. But, okay, so we're screwing up majorly in this car, and we're almost achieving the score that we did in the Viper when I was, like, a lot more focused on it. So, and I think it's good that we're doing this in a drift zone that I don't really practice much, because then that kind of puts it on an even playing field. All right, so let's see what you can do. Oh, God. All right. I need to become okay with the fact that... No! Oh, my God. That's so frustrating. It's so frustrating going from one to the other because this is all speed, all attack, all the time, constantly. You know what I mean? Like, constantly. It's all speed, all attack. And there's not very much that you can, like... There's not very much that you could do about that. And there's a way lower threshold of angle that this car can come back from. Way lower. You also aim this car so much differently. Like, the way you aim this car is more based on, it's like, okay, how can I pull the front end out of this situation? Whereas in the Viper, oh, there's best score. Okay, so 169 in the Hoonicorn. But still, these cars are close. And I think, honestly, if you have a zone based on speed, this is always going to win. If you have a zone based on technicality, the Viper is going to be a little bit better. Or, you know, other Formula Drift cars, other rear-wheel drive platforms that are built like that. So, I personally think that it's kind of, again, it's a toss-up between speed and technicality. Really? It's a toss-up between speed and technicality, and I think it always will be when it comes to these cars. But this is definitely, I mean, I've always been curious as to the differences between the two in an actual scoring situation, and I think to a certain degree I got my answer. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you click that like button. Tell me in the comments below what y'all thought of it, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys next time. Talk to y'all later.